Hey, what's going on? Hey, hey, you guys. Hey, listen. It's okay. You guys are being programmed. I'm going to show you how to eliminate negative programming for your life so you can go further faster. Are you up for it?
Yeah.
All right, come on, let's go. Okay, so this next piece that I'm going to talk to you about is a bit controversial, and I'm going to pre-frame it by saying this is not meant to throw anybody or anything under the bus or throw shade on anybody. I just want to give you an example about how we're being manipulated and that you're being programmed with negativity constantly, and then what to do about it, how to change that so that your life changes and you go further faster as well. All mammals and all living things are conditioned to be the way that they are. What does that mean? That we are programmed, that we are actually taught to be the way that we are. We're taught how to eat. We're taught how to drive a car. We're taught things to believe about ourselves. We're taught how to speak, all of those things. We come into this world with very, very little instinct, especially as human beings. You know, the baby gazelle is born on the Serengeti plain, and it comes out and it's got instinct inside of it that says it must stand up or it must know how to hide in the weeds, otherwise it'll die. Birds fly south for the summer, it's instinct. Human beings don't have that kind of instinct. We're actually born early because of the size of our head. So we come into this world with less instinct than almost any other animal on the planet. And as a result of that, we come into this world and we are sponges. And so what is put in front of us, that's how we learn. And we have the need to grow and learn. Well, it's not too far-fetched to assume that if you know what you're teaching somebody, you'll know what this person is going to do later on in life. And so fast forward right now. In the history of mankind, the number one teacher, the number one biggest influence in the history of man is television. And again, I'm not throwing shade anywhere. I just want you to be aware of what's going on because you're probably watching me on a screen right now. And I'm not saying that all television is bad. I just want you to be aware of what's happening and what's going on. And here's what I mean by that, is that television is designed, and I'm using television and it's synonymous with our cell phones. It's synonymous with anything that is pumping information into our eyes and our ears constantly. And remember what I said before. If you can determine what you're going to teach somebody, and if you're effective in teaching them that way and in conditioning them to be that way, then you can predetermine, you can assume, and you can predict what they're going to do and how they're going to behave. And so because the advent of television, when it came in, it became something that was like nothing else in the world before. And that is that it captured us nonstop on this screen right there that kept us right there watching that thing. Now, I'm old enough to remember when television used to shut off at like 10:30 and midnight. There'd be a test pattern that would come on and it would say, programming for this day is ended. It'll start again at 7 o'clock in the morning. But that's not the way it is anymore now. Now it's 24/7 and there's 1,000 channels. There used to be only 3. There's 1,000 channels. But understand this, all of those channels, not some of them, but all of them have a format of influencing you. And I use the word influencing lightly. And without exaggeration, those formats don't necessarily have our best interest at heart. And here's what I mean by that. What is the purpose of a television program in general? The purpose of it from the station owners is to keep you watching the television, is to keep you entertained so that your eyes stay on the television. Why? Because if they keep your eyes on the television, then guess what? They're going to be able to advertise something to you in the form of a commercial. Or like on YouTube or anything like that, those banners, because as long as you're watching, they're going to put something in front of you. Why? Because if they put it in front of you and you're in the right state, if they put you in the right state, which is a buying state, then guess what? You're going to buy that product, and that advertiser is going to keep on paying the television company. Listen, it's $1 billion a day business, more than that. $1 billion a day. I've had the privilege of coaching and mentoring and working with, movie stars and actors and actresses and TV stars and things like that. And it is amazing the process that they go through. And so, remember earlier I said that they don't necessarily have your best interest at heart. And I'm not saying that all of it is sinister, although it's not going to take too much for you to imagine to realize that there are some that are really sinister and that really send us down a road that is harmful to us. Years ago, I was hired by a company. It's a well-known company now. I can't tell you what it is because I always sign NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, with these people. I can't tell you what this is, the company is, but they were a company who did syndicated television shows, which was back in the cable days. And syndicated cable shows meant that they didn't create their own content. It meant that they bought the content, the shows of other programming that were made, and they broadcast it on their show, and they do advertising there. Because that was, that's how things work. But they hired me because they said, we want you to study, because my background is psychology, we want you to study what are the things that these other shows are doing that create the shows that make them so enticing. And so that's what I did. And I studied them, and there are 12, actually there's more of them, but there's 12 markers, what I call them, that influence you, that grip you, that anchor you, that trigger you to be a certain way. I'm going to give you one or two of them, but there's 12 of them. And here's the first one that you can understand that is super, super simple. That as soon as you hear it, you're going to go, oh yeah, that happens. So the first one, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, and it's called a cliffhanger. Whether it is a soap opera or let's just say one of these competition shows or reality shows or something, one of the dance shows for something or something like that. And they'll have like, 4 couples on stage, and they've all made it through, they've all done their dance, and they've done their thing or whatever. And they say, the announcer says, and there's the judges, and they say, okay, today, at the end of the day, you've all done your thing, but one couple is going home tonight. And then they go, the couple that's staying is, and then they wait. There's a little bit of a pause, and there's music. And then they show the judges, and then they show, each couple going, and hugging each other and things like that. And what's happening to you in the moment as you're watching, you're going, yeah, yeah, yeah. And then they go, the couple that gets to stay is couple number 3. And couple number 3 celebrates and jumps around, and then they hug, and then they get to stay. And then they go, the second couple that gets to stay is, and they do the same thing. And all the time while that's happening, what's happening to you is that you're going, oh gosh, what? I want this, I hope it's not that, I want this and that. And you've got this curiosity going on, and you've got this, what's called urgency going on. And then they go, it's couple number 1. And couple number 1 celebrates, and then they get to stay. And then they go, here's where the cliffhanger comes. They go, the couple that is going home tonight, the couple that has to pack their stuff, the couple that is no longer going to go on, the couple that this is the end of the road, and I'm doing this on purpose, they're stretching it out, is couple number, and the music goes up, and then they show the judges, and then they show the couples again, and they're hugging each other and everything. We're going to reveal it as soon as we come back from this commercial break. And then they go to commercial break. And then what happens is it leaves you in a state of anxiousness, in a state of give me something, in a state of what we call a scotoma, which is a blank spot on your brain going, what? And they know right then, because when you're in that state, that's when they show you the commercial. And the commercial does the same thing, by the way. It builds you up, and shows you the product, builds you up. And what happens is your nervous system has no other choice but takes it in. I know that's a simple one, but there's other ones that there's 11 other ones that are prominent. But if you understand that what they're doing is they are influencing you to be that way, and that's just one way. And so having said that, I'm sure you can understand, let's take it a step further, what happens. I'm going to give you one other example. And this is an example that I want you to try it out, okay? Situation comedies. Remember, the outcome of television. I'm going to talk about the negativeness of it here in a moment. And like I said, how to eliminate the negative influences in your life. But I want you to understand the format of everything. Is situation comedies. We all love them. I'm not going to name any by name, but there's a bunch of them out there. And those situation comedies, I've had the privilege of being on the set. Remember I said I've worked with actresses and actresses before, and I've been on the set with them as they're filming. And it's amazing. You may or may not know this. A television set is this. It's got a couple of scenes, kind of like we have right here. There's a couple of scenes around. Wherever we point the camera, that's the only thing that you see. And so you believe that that's what that room is about. So they have a dining room table, or they'll have a living room here, and they'll have over here somebody's office or whatever. And so these are the scenes. And so when they point the camera in that, then you believe that you're in that scene. And when you're in there, situation comedies, here's what they do. First off, most of them, especially now, do not have what are called studio audiences, which means there's an audience of people, 50, 60, maybe 100 people, a little less, whatever, that are sitting in an audience watching this going on. Now, those people are there for a reason, but it's not the reason that you might think. You think that they may be there because they're there to laugh and to respond to the actors and the actresses. And it's not. The actors and actresses, they'll tell you, is that they perform better in front of a live audience. Why? They just get the energy. There's that energy exchange. And the reason I say that is this, is because when you watch a situation comedy, very rarely does the studio audience actually laugh out loud. I'm sitting in the audience and we're just watching. It's like watching a play. You don't laugh out loud that much. But when you or I watch it on television, it's laughter out loud. And it goes in beats. As you've noticed, when you watch next time, watch your favorite situation comedy. It'll go blah, 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 blah. And then there's a big laugh. And then they'll go blah, 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 blah. And then they'll laugh. They're called beats. That's the way it's written. And it's designed to keep you on a path so that you anticipate laughter coming up. Now, there's no laughter from the audience. Where does it come from? There's a person, an engineer, that has their finger on a laugh track. And every time it's the end of that thing, it's dubbed in later. They push it later, and they push that. Which means they are telling you when to laugh. Evidence of it is this. Watch a situation comedy and take note of how many times you actually laugh out loud. 90% of the time, it's not at all, if not maybe one or two times, which means that inside your brain, you're being programmed and being told what is real and what is funny and what to respond to. And again, they take that into the commercial with the cliffhanger, and they got you. Now, having said all of that, where does the negativity come in? Well, listen, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that the news or the news media and things like that are designed to keep you scared. They are. Instead of calling it the news, I call it the bad news. Rarely will you see something they're celebrating something that's really great. And if it does, it's a very short amount of time. The rest of the time is there's a tornado in Florida. There's, this murder here. There's this going on here. There's this. And it's designed to keep you urgent and to keep you scared and to keep you glued to that television. Now, am I telling you not to watch television at all? No. As a matter of fact, I watch it, but I watch it in small doses, which is how you're going to limit yourself or the negative that's coming in. But I want you to know, the television and media and all those things are not designed to really inform you. They're designed to keep you on edge, to keep you scared. And if you look at your social media, it ain't a secret anymore that you look at the social media outlooks like Facebook and so on and so forth. They have algorithms that they know what you buy. They know what to sell you. I bought a pair of tennis shoes a while ago. And I know this happens to all of us. I bought a pair of tennis shoes on Amazon. Well, guess what started to show up on my Netflix? Not Netflix, on my Facebook feed. Oh, they're tennis shoes. So they know they got you in there, and then they program it. They put it in at the right times, which means that there are people that are out there that are manipulating you. And they're not manipulating you to keep you feeling happy and joyful and things like that. They're manipulating you to keep you feeling less than, to keep you feeling that you're not enough, to keep you feeling that the world is dangerous and scary and that this is the place that you need to be, and they will direct you where you're going to go. The problem with that is this. It takes away your ability, or starts to mitigate your ability to think for yourself. And that is why so many people are glued to their programming. So much so that, and I'll ask you this. Do you take your cell phone with you into the bathroom? Most people do. I caught myself doing it. Taking my cell phone, and here's where I caught myself. And this is, I'm kind of, letting you peek behind the curtain and tell you, because I'm human as well. Several years ago, maybe 5-6 years ago, my son was 7 years old, and there was a new game that came out. And the game was called Candy Crush. You remember it. And Candy Crush, and by the way, whenever a game comes out and he wants to play it, I go, well, let me see it, make sure that it's appropriate. Well, I put it on my phone, and very, very quickly I became addicted to it. So much so that I took my phone with me into the bathroom, that, I was in airports, wherever I was playing this game. The games and every screen that you have is designed to keep you what? Watching that screen. And it was so bad that I got to the point I realized, well, wait a minute, because I had to go to the bathroom once, and then my phone was all the way upstairs, and I ran all the way upstairs to get my phone so I could come downstairs and go to the bathroom. I thought, dude, you're hooked. And so what I did was I stopped. I put it into. I actually erased the app off of my phone and took it away. Why do I say that? Whether it is games, whether it is television, whether it is social media, whether it's all of those things. And this is just one area. These are the negative influences that are coming into their lives. They seem harmless, But if you eliminate them or drastically reduce them, then here's what happens. The brain starts to go, oh, there's more out there. What else can I do? And you'll find other things to spend your time. The other thing is to start looking for the types of programming, because there's lots of great television and things that are out there. I love the Disney Channel, or I love the National Geographic and things like that. Look for things that are more positive. And the same thing will happen, but they're influencing you with positive things like that as well. The other thing is do things like you're doing here right now. Pay attention. I'm so grateful that you've allowed me into your life to do this and to watch this, but fill your brain. Remember, these eyes and these ears are the gateway to your brain and how you're going to be. And so fill your brain, fill your life with positive stuff. Because as you do, first off, mitigate those other things, shut that television off. Shut off mitigate your time that you're going to spend on your cell phone. Don't take it to the bathroom with you. Put that thing down and look for other things. As you seek, so shall ye find. And speaking of finding things, if you enjoy this, and if you're looking to level up your life, which I know you are, I have a free gift for you. I have a free book that I want to send to you. And it is my gift to you. It's called Awesome Sauce. And in that book, I'm going to give you processes and steps that you can take, that you can do, that'll start to create change in you. Click on the link and we'll send the book to you. It's absolutely free, and I want you to have this book so that it's going to be something that you're going to use for the rest of your life and you can show to other people as well. Click on the link, accept that gift from me to you, and limit and mitigate those negative influences in your life. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it didn't scare you too much, that the truth of the matter is that there's a lot of negative influence out there, and there's other things as well. So if you did, please subscribe, and then also ring the bell so that you'll be notified when we have new videos coming up for you as well. And then also, watch this next video, because if you like that one, you're going to like this one coming up.